What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Dylan Matthews back at it again with another hometown take. And today I am talking about the Atlanta Hawks. And do the Hawks really need to go out and get a second star? Or is our second star, is our Robin to Trae Young, who's obviously Batman, is that person already in the building? Or do we need to go out and get him? I think the person could already be in the building, and Nate McMillan, new head coach, shouts out to him, thinks the same thing as well. We'll talk about it in just a second, but first, make sure you like this video, comment your thoughts, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check out the first link in my description box to buy me a coffee to help fuel this channel. And check out the second link in my description box to subscribe to the Tough Calls podcast from me and girl Symone with this Sports, as she likes to say, are talking to your favorite former and current athletes, hosts, anchors, reporters, head coaches, all that good stuff. So listen to the pod, subscribe to the pod, download the pod, share it out, tell your friends about the pod, tell them to listen to it, download it, subscribe to it, share it, all that good stuff. Just search Tough Calls in either Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. And it's that simple. Period. Just check out the link, click on it if you want, and do what you do. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get right into the video. Like I said, do you think the Hawks have to go out and get that second star via trade or free agency or whatnot? Or do you think the second star is already in the building? I think the second star is already in the building. Let me explain. Nate McMillan, this was in his post-game press conference after Game 6, obviously in which the Hawks were eliminated by the Milwaukee Bucks. He talked about Cam Reddish because Cam Reddish had a heck of a game where he went 6 of 7 from 3, finished the game with 21 points, single-handedly kept the Atlanta Hawks in the game because we were supposed to be done by the third quarter. We went down by 20. Cam and the gang helped us cut it down to 6 in the fourth quarter, but obviously still lost the game. But Cam for sure did his best to keep us in it. And after the game, Nate McMillan compared Cam Reddish to, guess who? One Paul George. Yes, Nate McMillan compared Cam Reddish to Paul George, saying, he sees a lot of Paul George in him with his length and obviously now his shooting ability. His shooting is getting better. He talks about how well he shot from the floor that night, which he was filling it up like he couldn't darn near miss. And so they got me thinking, if Cam Reddish can turn into a whole Paul George, do the Hawks even need to go out and get a second star? Do we even need to go out and get someone that, yes, maybe already is established and whatnot, but if we got a young Paul George who we grooming, especially if Nate McMillan can bring that type of consistency and those type of performances consistently out of Cam Reddish, mind you, Nate McMillan really never got to coach up Cam Reddish until the playoffs. I mean, in practice, yes, but he really hasn't had a chance to groom and coach up Cam Reddish the way he wants to. And that's another thing that's got me really excited about next season. He'll have his full complement of guys, be able to coach up this team and do exactly what he wants with this team. And that's got me really, really excited because you know what he did as the interim. Just imagine what he can do now with the full season with the guys as the head dude. But focusing on Cam Reddish specifically, I mean, just think, if he sees that in Cam Reddish, and if he can pull that Paul George-ness out of Cam Reddish, we don't need nobody. We don't gotta go get nobody. We'll just rock with Trae Young, Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter, obviously, who's coming into his own as well. Let Nate coach him up even more and tap even more potential out of his game. We keep John Collins, we keep Kevin Huerter now. I will go ahead and say before I get too ahead of myself, it's gonna be hard to keep everybody. Because don't know if we're gonna pay John Collins. If we do, he's gonna take a lot of money. We gotta pay Trae Young. He's gonna get the max. Kevin Huerter, he keeps balling like he did in the playoffs. He's gonna want some money. If Cam Reddish starts balling like freaking Paul George, he's gonna want some money. DeAndre Hunter gonna want some money. We won't be able to pay everybody. This situation, unfortunately, and I say unfortunately because of this. This situation reminds me of the Atlanta Falcons draft class in 2016 when we got Keanu Neal, when we got Grady Jarrett, when we got Deion Jones. We weren't able to keep all those guys. We paid Debo. We Keanu Neal had to leave. We paid Grady, but we can't keep everybody. You know what I'm saying? All them guys gonna want some money. I don't know we got enough money to pay all of them. So we gonna see. But hey, it's a good problem to have. So, whether it's Trae Young, Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter, Kevin Huerter, who stay rocking with us, that's cool. But all those guys have potential to be second stars, especially Cam Reddish and maybe even DeAndre Hunter. Do y'all remember who drafted what turned out to be the big three in Golden State? Do y'all remember who drafted Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green? Y'all remember? Let's think about it for a second. Oh yeah, it was Travis Schlenk. He was a part of those drafts. He was a part of, drafting Steph and Klay and Draymond. That was him, right? Right? Yeah, I think it was. And I think he might have done messed around and done the same type of thing in Atlanta. Now, I'm not saying we're going to turn out and have a Steph Curry type and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. But, well, I think we got better players than Draymond Green. All around players. Draymond's a great defender, don't get me wrong. But, you get what I'm saying. Anyways, we got Trae Young, who is Steph Curry-like. We have a guy like Klay Thompson, does it both ways, can shoot it. Could be Cam Reddish-like or Paul George-like. Cam Reddish is reminding us a little bit of Klay, a little bit of Paul George. I think he won't be as good as a shooter maybe as Klay, but he could be. And then I don't want to compare DeAndre Hunter to Draymond Green because DeAndre Hunter is way better offensively already than Draymond Green. But you get what I'm getting at. I think he done messed around and organically drafted a big three again, this time in Atlanta. So shouts out to you, Travis Schlenk. But what I'm saying is, and the point of this video is, one, I think we don't have to look elsewhere. We don't have to look externally. If Cam Reddish can turn into that Paul George type of player, which Nate McMillan obviously sees in him, and if he sees it, I think he can pull it out of Cam. Obviously, he's a great coach, and he's grown as a coach as well, saying, he's had to change up his ways a little bit. And, that just speaks to how good of a coach Nate is, knowing he has to grow and, change with the times. And he can't stay stuck in his ways. And that just shows, his adaptability and, how he can become a great coach, because you can't always coach the same way. It doesn't work like that. You get a new crop of players, you get different personalities, you might have to change up your coaching style. But, like I'm saying, Cam Reddish, he could turn into a Paul George, Klay Thompson type. DeAndre Hunter could turn into another great 3-and-D guy who has shown at times this year he can go get his own shot. So we could form our own big three. We could have a Batman, a Robin with an Aquaman, whatever superheroes you want to use. I'm just saying, something scary is forming in Atlanta, and I do think it starts with hopefully one of these guys, whether it's Cam Reddish turning into Paul George, DeAndre Hunter turning into whoever, just these guys, up in their game and advancing their game. So Nate McMillan sees Paul George and Cam Reddish, we working with something. So I think with the crop of guys we have now, I don't know if we gotta look externally, y'all. But let me know what y'all think. Like this video, comment your thoughts, subscribe to the channel. Check out the first link in my description box to buy me a coffee to help fuel this channel. Check out the second link in my description box to subscribe to the Tough Calls podcast from me and girl Symone with the Sports. Are talking to your favorite former and current athletes, hosts, anchors, reporters, head coaches, all that good stuff. So just search Tough Calls in either Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and listen to the pod, download it, share it, subscribe to it, tell your friends to listen to it, download it, subscribe to it, share it, all that good stuff. And hey, so I'll talk to y'all next time. Stay true to Atlanta. Believe in Atlanta. Peace.